this is Max and this is Dex, and in this series I want to basically show you from beginning to advanced the opportunity to make a journal. Now, making a journal is not just about collecting the data for yourself and just having it there for posterity's sake. You know, that's already there on your exchange. What we want to do is to be able to filter the data, look at win-loss ratios, apply some algorithms, apply some very easy to do equations in here in the spreadsheet system that we're going to show you how to get to, and be able to track your stuff. And also so you can share it with us to be able to track that as well. And so we can help you advance even further. First off, you're going to get your journal system. It's a spreadsheet from Google Documents. So you're either going to get an invite to one from us, or you're going to make your own. And in order to make your own, you're going to go to your Google Drive, which is, let me bring it over here, right here. And you're going to go to the Google Apps, and you're going to hit Drive. Okay. You're then going to go to New and hit Google Sheets. And that's what they say is about that. Now, in order to, you just click up in the top left-hand corner, and I'm just going to put Bob in here, Bob 2, because I already have a Bob. Okay. And now I've named my sheet Bob. Okay. In the other corner here, you're going to see where it says Share. Now, if you haven't gotten one from us already, you're going to want to do this. You're going to want to hit Share. And in the description of this video, there's two emails. There's one for Amy Kuipers and one for myself. And I want you to put those in there. So it's Amy Kuipers, of course. Now, you won't have that like I do, but you're just going to copy and paste her email in there. And, of course, my Max one. There we go. Okay. And that's the one you're going to send over to us, okay, because they're both Gmail accounts. And then you're just going to hit send, all right? I won't need to do that for right now because this is just for an exercise. All right, so being able to copy and paste the information over from your Nadex system is one of the toughest parts out of all of this, and sort of compiling it into the right way. So in order to do that, you need to have your Nadex system open. All right, here we go. I've logged in. Now, Nadex is closed today. It's Super Bowl Sunday, February 5th. So I'm here making this video very quickly. But Nadex has some nuances as well, that in the My Account section, under History, and your transactions, this is what we're really looking for. Now, if you've just traded and you don't want to have a whole bunch of information within the last 6 hours, you can actually just view that information. If it's within the last 12 or 24 or what have you. I'm going to have to pick the last 3 days because I've been traded for a couple of days. I'm going to hit View History. And it's going to bring up a box that pops up. And this is the basic box that you're going to have. So let me give you a quick overview. You're going to have your information in a box like this, and I'll explain what each one of these details are. And you might have a next or a back button available, depending on how many trades you got into. Okay. You can always expand the box out by hovering over to where you get a double-headed arrow and pull down. Okay. That way you can have all the information exposed. Now, anytime that you copy and paste or select a various amount of information in this process, I want you to always start down from the bottom, click, hold, and drag your mouse over till everything turns blue and highlights. But you're only going to highlight up to right under the gray bar. Release the click, and then right-click the information and hit copy, or you can use Control-C on your PC or Command-C on your Mac. We're now going to go back over to the spreadsheet, and you're going to right-click and hit paste. And see, that's what happens. Now, if you had 2 pages worth of information, simply go back. You go back to your spreadsheet here, hit the next button, go to the bottom, scroll up, right-click, and hit copy. Go to the final line, the next line after the information, right click and hit paste. And it should paste it like that. Let me show you just real quickly what will happen if you don't select it from the bottom up, because it's a very weird process that happens, especially if you do it from the top down. Copy. Oh, no, it looks like they fixed it. Okay. So sometimes I still do it from the bottom up. Sometimes it'll just put it in one line. It's kind of crazy. So just keep in mind, either way, it looks like it may work. So go ahead and do it either way. But if you do get some jumbled information from the bottom when you're copying from the top down, do it from the bottom up. That'll fix that, especially if you're in the browser that you're using. All right. So now we got the information over. Okay, and usually you put this information, you don't have to put it in after every trade. Some traders do it every trade because it gives them a break in between trades. Some people put it in at the end of every day, and that's fine too, or in a couple of days. But you want to get this information in. So now that we have it in, we want to compile it, which means that we want to organize it a little bit. Sometimes when we're making trades, you start one trade and then it begins to flow, and then you get into another trade. So when you find the history happening, it's a little bit jumbled up. Like we might have, we're never just into one trade only at a time. There's sometimes we're into multiple trades. So being able to move this information around is very important. So first thing we need to do is isolate each trade on its own. Okay, so that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to look for the process here is a little confusing here because I didn't copy in all the information that I should have. Let me get rid of this right here. This one's not supposed to be here because I'm going to go ahead and delete those two rows. Okay. So now we have every trade starts with a direction. You'll either see buy, which we bolded here, or sell, which we bolded here. Now, when you see one of these direction, this is basically the beginning of the trade. You buy or sell to start the trade. After each line that should have a buy or a sell, there should be a process line called fee payment. Now, the fee payment is exactly what it states, a fee for that particular trade, which Nadex charges. In this case, $1. To close a trade, you're always going to see the opposite of what you started the trade with. So if you started with a buy, you sell to close. Okay? And then, of course, a fee payment. In order to see that the trades are all the like trades, you have to read the entry of the trade, which here is a 1, which is the amount of contracts that were used, USD/JPY, greater than 112.60. And this is really important because you have to pay attention to the expiry, to the price itself for the buy-in. Okay? So you got to keep that in mind. Now, if you sell to close, it means that you're scalping out, you're getting out early. So like in this particular case, this trade is a scalp trade. We may have scalped out for a little bit of less. Okay? When you have a trade that has gone to expiry, you could see as right here, settlement payout is $100. So when the explanation of the trade comes over, you have sell, Euro USD, 1.0780 for 3 p.m. We got in at $27. Fee payment, settlement payment, which is the same, 3 p.m., $27.75, and then the cost was $100, or the payout was $100, which means we bought in for $72.25, and then we're paid $100, making that dividend $27.75 minus the 2 settlement payouts, or the 2 fee payments, I'm sorry. All right, so how do we separate all this information? Well, first off, let's put a couple of spaces in between each one of the bars of information. So here's the buy, the fee, the sell to close, and the fee payment. This begins a new trade. So I'm going to right click and do insert one above, which means inserting one line above. And this is going to isolate. This is one trade here, which is perfect. Then going to isolate the next one. And see, they're all four the same here. So I'll come down to line 11, I'll right click, do insert one above. And this will start to give me some information. You can start seeing it, it's starting to shape up into some information here that we can use. Here we are again. Insert one above. And I would do this all the way down through the process. Now sometimes you might have a mix up. You can easily select information and it'll put a blue bar around it all. And when you hover over the line till you get a little hand, you can click and drag and it'll select information and pull it around. So you can easily do that. Here's another method that we can do. Drag up. Here's another one. No, we don't want to miss that one. Drag up one line. See, you can also do it in the opposite direction too. Now you see in this particular part, you're going to see that I have the Aussie USD and the British Gold Pound USD. And so it's a little bit different. This isn't a full trade here. This is two beginning of trades. So I need to find where is the beginning of the British Gold Pound USD and where's the end of it. And then I need to apply where the heck it went. Okay, so remember, we're looking for the close of the trade being a settlement payout or a sell to close. So here's the settlement payout for the long British Gold Pound 25.18, and its expiration. Expired here. Now we can click, hold, and drag, and there you go. Now this particular one is complete. So if I drag that down, I'm still left with the information for the Audi there, which will do this. Quick drag up, and there we go. Now we have two trades that have been completed and separated, and all the information is there. Here we are again. Here's another trade, the beginning of an entry of a trade, and here's the close. Once you be able to read these, you can read them almost at a glance now. If you're just looking at the entry in the middle. And of course, here's the last one right there. Now that we have all of our information for this time period being compiled and separated, we now need to do sums and totals. And this gets a little confusing sometimes because it is a lot of writing, but I want to show you some quick, easy ways to be able to do it. So we want to create one of the columns, which will be your sum or total area. Okay. So what we want to do is that we want to put into this box a code that will create a total of this group of information here, right? And you can do that simply by doing equals the word sum, a bracket, and then you can click. As soon as you have that bracket there, you can click and drag, and see how that happens. You select an entire area, and then you have to close off the total with another bracket, just like that. And then if you hit enter, it'll show you your total. Now in this particular case, we took a scalp out for about $8 less. So that shows a minus in there. If I were to do the same thing here, equals sum, bracket, copy, just like that, you can enter, and there we go. Now, most of the lines of trades have 4 lines of information. Sometimes when you lose a trade, they won't give you a fee payment on the loss. So you'll save $1 if you lose. Very generous of them. But because that there's 4 lines here of information, and on each one, if I keep this consistent and I just want the bar of sum to be here, I can easily just click inside here, right click, copy, select the area where I want that 4 bars up to sum and hit paste. And here it is again. For each one that I want to sum 4 bars up from this location, I can easily just copy and paste in each one, and that sum will be there. Pretty powerful, huh? Now, if you make a mistake and it doesn't sum out the entire thing right, or maybe you don't have, just go back and verify all the information as you go. Now we want to do, because each trade has its own sum and whether or not it's been successful or characterized as a win or a loss. I usually like to color the background of whether it's a win or a loss with a different color. Now most people think, I'll use red for ones that lose. Don't use the color red. It is completely negative. See the difference in there? Looks really bad, doesn't it? It kind of makes you cringe almost. So I like to use a green background on the ones that we win and an orange background on the ones that lose. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And you can make these a little bit bold so you can see them better. And you can also increase the size of a column. If I click the entire column and I go 14, there you go. Looks a little bit bigger. That might be too big. So I'll select the column again and do 12. There you go. That looks better. All right. You can also select the column, and anytime that you have a whole column selected, any of the formatting that you do will go to the entire amount. So if you didn't want it to show dollar signs, or if you wanted it to be percentages or what have you, that's how you do that. Okay. Now, if you want to sum up an entire column of information, you would have to do the same thing you did before. Equals sum and a bracket. Now, as you got that bracket there, you can easily select an entire column, and you'll see F semicolon or colon F, because we're using the F column. Close it out, and right click, and you can see a complete total. Again, at this point you can change the fonting, and there you go. And this is how the information should be compiled. In the advanced video, I'll show you some ways that you can track wins and losses and variance on how many pips and averages and all that kind of good stuff. And I'll show you some pretty cool sections of information in there, and some copy and paste stuff that'll really help you out. But this will get you started. You've shared your spreadsheet with us. You've shown us that you're doing well or where you're having problems at within the system. And this should get you into that next stage. All right. I'm Max Farrow, and this is Dex, and this is Keeping a Journal. See you soon, and as always, trade well.